So if I uncheck this, it shows the field format SMTE, feed plus frames. They are the different kind of formats for our timings. I would like to make this as SMPTE. This is timecode source media. Let's generate clip. I would like to make this to media. So right now, if you see here on our playhead position, it is 0202, and over here also it's 0202. So it would totally match with this 329. This is time display 30. I would make this to 25. Or maybe 24. Automatic label text camera 1. This is in case of multiple editing while you are editing any footage or any film with multiple cameras. So you can name this and you can label this, so in order to get the information, which can be very easy for you to track it, to track the data from which camera it has been captured. Again, source tag is 3 and 1. There are no video layers, so I would like to make this to 2. So yeah, so in this way, in timecode you can label your timing of the footage, which would play throughout the footage according to your position, size, wherever you want, and with opacity. So here we come to end of our video effects. Now let us go through all the video effects, the list of video effects which we had seen in a nutshell, starting with adjust, blur and sharpen, channel, color correction, distort, generate, image control, noise and grain, perspective, stylize, time, transform, and the last one, video. So these were all the effects inside our video effects tab in Adobe Premiere Pro. Now our next topic is transitions, video transitions. So what are video transitions, or maybe what is a transition? The way in which any two video shots are joined together is called a transition. Transitions are very important. Everyone from the camera operator to the editor must have a good understanding of how to make effective transitions. So while we are editing a film or a short film or any kind of serial episode soap, so each and every one who is a part of that film must know which transitions to put, because transitions play a very important behavior in our film, and they are the basically the behavior from one shot to the second, and how we are playing with them, or how we are moving it from one shot to another. The most common transition is the cut, in which one shot changes instantly to the next. The most common transition after cut is crossfade or dissolve, and in Premiere it is known as cross dissolve, where one shot gradually fades into the next. And advanced transitions include wipes and digital effects, which we'll see inside our transitions effect tab. Moving shot as being a transition from one shot to a new one. Example, camera pan from one person to another. Suppose while we are showing character A, and if we are showing character B, and we are changing our camera movement, or we are creating a pan from character A to character B, that can also be considered as a transition. And apart from that, a zoom from a mid shot to a close up can again be a transition. Now let us see, why do we need to apply transitions? A transition moves a scene from one shot to the next. Generally, we use a simple cut to move from shot to shot, but in some cases, we might want to transition between shots by phasing out one and phasing in another. Premiere Pro provides many transitions that we can apply to our sequence. A transition can be a subtle crossfade or a stylized effect, such as a page turn or a spinning wheel. While we usually place a transition on a cut line between shots, we can also apply a transition to only the beginning or end of a clip. By default, placing one clip next to another in a timeline panel results in a cut, where the last frame of one clip is simply followed by the first frame of the next, and when we want to emphasize or add a special effect to a scene where a scene is changing, we can add any variety of transitions such as wipes, zooms, and dissolves. Now, this is a warning for all the video editors and filmmakers who use transitions. So, transitions are fun, but overusing transitions is a common mistake made by amateurs. So you should not insert or you should not apply those transitions which are very funky when you are creating a serious kind of film or a serious kind of subject if it's there in your film. And too much of transitions also create a jerk in our viewers' eyes. So we would try to avoid that. And in most professional productions, almost all transitions are simple cuts or crossfades. So basically these both transitions, simple cuts or crossfades, are universal, and you can see in various productions who are using these. And too many animated transitions are distracting. As I said earlier, it creates a jerk in our viewers' eyes, and its impact on the flow of the video is not subtle, or it's not smooth, and it's create a haphazard kind of ending or a haphazard kind of view for our video. Now let us go to Premiere and check transitions one by one. So let us come to transitions now, and first we would see the normal transitions, which is cut and dissolve, which is used generally in movies. And I have this footage here, so I would like to insert it here. And initially I would start to give it a dissolve. I would go to video transitions. I can either put a cross dissolve here, drag and drop. I do not want the audio here, so I would unlink this and remove the audio. And I do not also want this person in helmet to pass by, so what I do is I drag this a little bit, and that is eliminated now. So what this is doing is, instead of starting like this, my film would start like something like this, and this is the cross dissolve transition. And this is starting from black opacity from 100 and ending it to 0. In the same way, we can have dip to black, which again has this effect, but slightly different from cross dissolve, as cross dissolve dissolves and it has a crossfade kind of effect, which has a merge of both the blends, or both the footage. But dip to black has dips from the black color, same as dip to white. So as you can see here, our footage is going from white and it is turning to, from white it is turning into and slowly dissolving into our main footage. And apart from cross dissolve, we have this film dissolve. So you can also stretch this as you want. Right now it is of 2 seconds, so it is creating a really very smooth dissolve, a smooth fade in our film. And this is zooming in. This is again can be a kind of transition, and you can say this is our establishing shot of the movie. And once it goes into, then we can, if we will go to the next transition, which is cut. I'll show you that. So this is the film dissolve transition, or you can also add cross dissolve here. So what I would do is, in the next shot I would like to show the inside of the house, so which means my viewer will get to know by default as it is zooming in. So I would go into inside the house and I would show this image. This is a still image, so it would create in such a way that people will think that it is the inside of the house, but no, it is not. Ideally we are, this is possible through the power of video editing. I would scale to frame and I would have a animation on its scale, a very slight animation, so that it doesn't look a still image. So our movie starts like this, and note here this point, this junction, this is the cut point, and we have not used any kind of transition here, and it can be called a cut, which acts as a transition. I would slightly reduce this down. And right now, as you can see, our film is ready with two of the cuts, and make this down to 132. Or else you can also have a dissolve here if you do not want a rough cut. So it totally depends upon you what kind of transition you want to use, but please do not use flashy kind of transitions which are not smoothing to eyes of our viewers. Maybe a film dissolve. So as you can see here, I am at this point, and right now what it was happening is, if I delete this film dissolve, this was at this frame, it is totally changing to this. If I have film dissolve, it is creating a blend of both. If I click here on film dissolve, this is showing A and this is showing B, which means A is this and B is this. And you can control it from here also. You can increase or decrease the duration of the transition. So when you go to the transition, like my normal cursor is here, so when I go to the start or the end of my transition, it will gives you the option of stretching it or squeezing it down. So in this way you can control your transition. And at last I would like to have a dip to black maybe. So this is how you can end your video or end your film. So these three were the basic transitions which are widely and immensely used, and you can say these three are the default or the universal transitions which every filmmaker or production uses, and because they are very smooth and soothing to our eyes, in this way you can add these transitions. We will see the next set of transitions. Now we'll come to the first transition inside the video transitions, which is 3D motion, and the first one is cube spin. So I just dragged and drop here just as the effect. So if you can see here, it, a transition can be placed in between the footage where there is a cut, or in the starting or at the beginning. Right now this cube spin effect transition is there, but we do not use generally start with a cube spin. So let this make it a dissolve, and suppose from this transition to this, then we can take it to cube spin. There are various kind of transitions, but it again depends what kind of transition you want to use, and you have to make sure it doesn't look jerky and it looks subtle and smooth. I want this transition from below, so I just clicked here, and if you can see here, this transition is also cool, and you can drag it here from either the start or the end, and so suppose if you have of any funky music or something, then you can create any video according to its beat and according to its transitions, which can be an art of video editing. The next is flip over, and suppose here if I want my color to be black, then I go to custom and I make this as black. Here the bands, suppose I make this to 8, so this would create 8 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 bands. And if I do not want any, then maybe 16, it can take max up to 8 2, then it would create like this. Suppose if I make this to 1, then it would only create a single band. And if I want this to be more fast, then I can just decrease from here, or else I can also add my duration manually by setting the time here. Suppose I would like to make this at 10. So if you see here, this has been reduced, and it is a page turn kind of thing, or a flip. So you can use this transition when there is any kind requirement of any transition, when you're going from one shot to another in your film, or when you're making any music kind of montages. You can use this transition. This is generally used for music montages or any cool funky effect, but rarely used in films. The next is additive dissolve. So you can see here these light spotlights are visible when you apply these. What if we increase this? Oh, it is creating a very smooth kind of effect. Cross dissolve we have already seen earlier. Same with dip to black, dip to white flip dissolve, and this is morph cut. This is a really cool transition, and it is only in CC 2015 and not in the below versions. And this is mainly used when we have any person who is speaking and the camera is fixed, but the character movement is present, and if any interview or kind of thing is there, we can use this morph cut. So right now, if you can see here, it says analysis failure. It couldn't find face in input video. So if you see here, this and this, they are not able to find the face. The faces are not the same. So it morph cut basically detects the face, and it creates a morphing kind of effect, which is very, like, you cannot be, it wouldn't be a cut or a dissolve, and it would be so subtle and smooth, the viewers would not understand. And this effect is really cool, and it is only available in CC 2015, as I said earlier. So yeah, let's remove morph cut. This is non-additive dissolve, the next effect. So this is again another kind of effect. So these were our 3D motion and dissolve tabs transitions. The next set is iris. So the first one is iris box. So let's drag and drop here and see this. So this is a transition again, and it creates a box kind of transition. So this is show actual sources. If we click here, it shows us the actual sources A and B, and we can control it from here how much we want. And this is the border width. If you want any border here, let's make it to 5. I would like to make this as white. If we want it to be reversed, then this is what happens. I will slightly decrease the duration of my transition, and I would make this anti-aliasing quality. This is of low medium. This means the feather of our transition. I would like to make this as medium, and you can set it any color you want from here. You can choose any color. You can also increase the border width. Maybe 50, 20, 10, 5. So these are the different kind of border widths which you can create. So this was iris box. Now let's come to iris cross, where it creates this cross kind of transition. I would say reverse, and border width would make this to sky blue, anti-aliasing high. So if you see here, if we make the anti-aliasing high, this they get feather on the edges, and if you see now, as I've turned off the anti-aliasing, and the feather has gone away and the edges are very prominent, and there is no smoothness on our edges of the transition. The next is diamond, which would create a diamond shaped transition. This you can use in your music videos, montages. I don't want reverse now. I want for the width to be 5 and border color to be white. Last one in iris is round. So it's the same thing, but the shape has changed. This is again widely used. Iris round. I would make this to reverse. You can also increase the duration of your transition. I would check off reverse now. See what happens. This is creating this transition. The next is page peel. You can use if you want to, but it is not at all recommended or advised to use these kind of transitions. Same with page turn. It creates a very jerky kind of transition, and it is not a classy transition. So this is what I showed you. Now it depends, but ideally productions and directors do not use these transitions, and in any big movies you may not have seen these kind of transitions. The next is slide, band slide. Let's drag and drop here. So this is creating a scan line kind of transition, and if I go to custom, this says number of bands. If I go on 1, the minimum is 2. So this effect is really cool. And if I want to increase the border width to 5 and border color to white, it is creating this effect. If I increase this to 5, so this was band slide. The next is center split, which splits the screen from the center into 4 pieces. The next is push. We can have a divider here. The next is slide. It is again almost the same, but it doesn't pushes the below footage, but it overlaps it by its entrance. Suppose if you want it from here, you can change its position from where you want it. If you want it from here, you can go here, click here, so it would appear in that way. And the same from here. So these are different directions. Basically, you want your slide or transition to be entered from. The next transition is split. So it splits the screen from the middle, and if I reverse this, then this happens. It joins the screen. If we reverse it, if we anti-reverse, then splits the screen. So this way you can add transition. Though split also we do not use it, as it is not advisable to use that kind of transition. The next set of transitions is wipe, where it says band wipe. It's almost the same as band slide. Many effects create the same output. You can say this is again acting as same as split as we just saw now. This is checker wipe. Go to custom. I go to suppose 9 and 7. So it would create this kind of effect. I make this to white. Maybe I make this to 6 and 4. Let's check that. So this creates a funky kind of transition. The next is checkerboard. It is creating a checkerboard kind of transition. The next is clock wipe. So this is rotating like a clock, and we can also have its border width. The next is gradient wipe. It says gradient wipe settings, select image. If you have an image, we can select that, or softness. I would like to make this to 35. Now let's check what it creates. This creates this gradient wipe kind of transition. The next is inset. It again creates the slide kind of transition here. The next is paint splatter. It creates a paint splatter kind of, when you're using some colors or something, then you can use this transition. or something colorful, event, promo, or anything which you are making, you can use this. This is pinwheel, not at all advisable to use. This is a radial wipe. The next is random blocks. It creates random blocks. The next one is random wipes. It again creates random wipes, and as I said, you can choose any direction you want. The next one is spiral boxes. The next is Venetian blinds. It creates this effect. Number of bands maybe 6 or maybe 15. This is the wedge wipe, and this creates this kind of effect transition in between two clips. This is normal wipe, and it wipes out the first video and brings in the second. The next is zigzag blocks. Just create blocks and gets into the second image or the second video. Now the last transition which we are left with is zoom, which is cross zoom. So it basically zooms in and out. So it zoom in and zoom out, zoom in and zoom out. And so this transition is also used, and you can use this cross zoom, and you can make sure that it doesn't look jerky and it is going with your scene and with your edit. So these were all the set of transitions which Premiere provides us and which you can use in between your clips. As we have seen all the transitions inside the video transition tab in our effects tab in Premiere, let us go through all those transitions one by one. 3D motion, dissolve, iris, page peel, slide, wipe, and the last one, zoom. So now after working with the video transitions, we would now work with audio. What is audio editing? Audio editing is the process of manipulating audio to alter length, speed, and volume, or to create additional versions such as loops. Audio editing is almost always done using a computer and audio editing software. So basically, audio means sound, which is another very important and vital area and a very important role in a film or any short film which you are making. It plays a very essential role on which our viewer is dependent on, because without sound or without audio, any video is incomplete. And for audio editing, there are various softwares like Audacity, Sony Soundforge, then you can say Adobe Sound Booth. But now we will be working with audio editing in Adobe Premiere. So Adobe Premiere also offers us editing with audio. We'll be working with the effect controls of our audio clip in Premiere. So basically these three are the attributes in our effects control of an audio clip. which is volume, bypass, channel volume, and pan. And this is the audio wave. So while we are editing audio, we would see these kind of audio wave in Premiere. So let's start working with audio now. So I've created a new project, and now I'll be importing all my media, which is all my sound today, and we would import all these to Premiere. So just drag and drop this into our project. It says import files, and let this complete, then only you start with your edit. Make sure this all is confirming and wait for the media to be loaded in your project, and then only you start working. Right now it's importing, so you have to wait for this. And yeah, right now it's done and there's no confirming, so now we can start with our edit. So let's take our first track and drag and drop here, and so this is our audio music. I would like to edit now. So yeah, this is our music. So as I told, we would go to the audio effects. So it is showing us audio effects. Mind it, suppose if we import any video also, then it would show its audio. And let's check that. I go to right click and I import, and if I click this icon shows audio as well as video. So but unfortunately there's no audio, as the audio is totally blank. So let us import another video. So I've got a video which also has audio in it. So this is the waterfall video which has audio in it. So if you check the audio from here, it has the water flow audio. So in this way you can get your videos with audio in Premiere. And I would delete this, and I would also like to come on the common audio formats which we work on. So now let us see the different common audio file formats which Premiere accepts. The first is MP3. So this is the MPEG layer 3 audio, and it is the most common sound file format which is used today. And we have often noticed in our mobile phones and our cell phones, in our desktop as well, we use this MP3 to listen to songs, audios, anything, and this is widely used. The next is .AAC. This is the advanced audio coding format which is based on the MPEG 2 and MPEG 4 standards. So this is also widely used while we are uploading anything online. When the video goes online and it needs to be uploaded, we use .AAC, and is a very common file format, and it also is of very low file size. The next is .m4a. This is an audio only MPEG 4 file which is used by Apple for their unprotected music downloaded from their iTunes music store. And the audio within the M4A file is typically encoded with AAC. So as I told, this AAC file format is also used for encoding the M4A files. And the next is .wav, which is also known as WAV or wave. So this is a standard audio file container format used mainly in Windows PCs. So the operating systems where Windows is there, so this is commonly used there, and it is commonly used for storing uncompressed PCM CD quality sound files, which means that they can be large in size, around 10 MB per minute, and these WAV files can also contain data encoded with a variety of lossy codecs to reduce the file size. So yeah, basically these four are the main file formats for audios, are generally in trend for working on audio edits. Now we'll be working with the effects control of an audio. So the first here is audio effects, and inside it the first tab is volume. So if we drop down this, it has got two attributes, which is bypass and level. So what is bypass and what is level? So if we play this, currently it is playing this, and the level is basically the amount of volume which an audio track has. So right now it is, by default it is on 0. So suppose if you decrease this, suppose if you want to have a fade in of the sound, then you can animate this as well. So right now it is -68, where almost nothing is audible, and if I click keyframe here or add a keyframe here, I would make this to 0. So slowly and gradually the sound would increase. So if you can see this, right now it's -68. It is slowly increasing to 0. So from a negative value it is going to 0, which means our sound volume is increasing. In the same way, you can increase the sound but up to 6 decibels, which is dB. So you go and click with your mouse, and if you go beyond it, say suppose 6.5, it would not, but mind it, 6.0 is also too high sound. And if you're working or any video which is to be displayed or for any presentation or something, so it might get a very high and the volume might be bursting kind of thing, and the speakers might create a crackling sound. So make sure. So if you notice here, as we have increased it to 6, these both would get red, which is not a good practice. Ideally it should not go red. So right now both of our channels are going in red. So this was just for a viewing purpose, so I would like to delete this 6.0 dB and I would like to make it to 0, which is pretty cool. Or you can make it to 2, suppose if the volume is low. So right now that red thing is not coming, the clipping is not occurring of the sound. So to make sure that the clipping doesn't occur, so right now the clipping is occurring. So what I would do is I would animate this and make this to 0, back to its original position. Yeah, this sounds pretty cool, and in this way you can animate your level. Same with bypass. So if I check on bypass, it would not affect the volume and it would bypass it. So these levels would not affect that. If you see here, initially our volume here was at -68, but right now our bypass is on. So if you check on this bypass. This level automatically is of no use, and as we had it from -68, so there should not be any sound. But as our bypass is on, it means we are doing the reverse of it, so it would create the sound. And yeah, there is no variation here of the sound as we had done it ideally, as our bypass is on. So this is basically for checking on and off your bypass when you do not want any volume animation or something. Right now it is totally avoiding the volume animation, but though there is, but the moment I turn this off and delete this, the automatically this level would start working and it would not bypass. So let's check that. It is creating that fade in sound effect which was not creating when bypass was on. Check this. There is no fade in sound. Now again we will check this. There is no sound of fade in. Now check this off and let's check that. Yeah, there is fade in. So this was our volume and bypass, level and bypass, and I will make this to 0 back to it. This is also very helpful when you want to animate your sound manually with a fade in or a fade out, anything. For fade in, you need to gradually increase it from minus level to positive. Now suppose if I want to fade out, then what I do here is I take this back to minus, so the entire thing will be faded out. Check this. Starts with fade in, ends with fade out. And in the middle I want a increment of 1.5 decibels, so the volume would go up. Yeah, the volume is going up and now it has come down. So it is totally visible here. If you zoom in here, these are visible here. You can animate this from here itself, but I prefer manual animation, so I do it from FX control tab rather than here. You can do this through a same tool known as pen tool. Shortcut for this is P, so you can add here anywhere you want. So if you see here, the level has been increased. I hope you are able to get the difference. You can add more points, you can move them wherever you want. It's very flexible. So if you notice here, it is automatically creating keyframes here the moment you are clicking here. You can also animate this. It has got its tangents. So right now if I want to create a keyframe here, I add a keyframe here. So automatically the moment I click here, a keyframe has been added here, and right now I'm able to animate this. So over here what I want now is a smooth fade out. So this crash, I would make my graph as this, make my sound as this. It is creating a very smooth fade out. So in this way you can animate your levels through another tool, which is pen tool. The shortcut for it is P. And right now if you notice here, our entire audio track has been animated through the pen tool by adding keyframes and manipulating them. Now after seeing bypass and level, let's come down to the next attribute, which is channel volume. So let's expand this, and it says bypass left and right. So over here basically this left and right means the left and right channels, which means this left, this is left, and this is right. So let me show you this. And is left and this channel is right. So this audio is basically a 2.1 channel, which means it has got two channels, one left and another is right. So let's check that. Now this is channel volume, left, right, both are on 0. What if I decrease this to its negative value, which is minus 287, and check this. So right now what is happening is our left channel is totally blank, as the values are on the extreme negative side, and our right is on 0. So if you notice, our left channel is totally blank and only the right channel is working now. Now what if I want an animation of my channel and I want it to be panned? So over here I want it to be on 0 and this to be on minus 287. So I've done the reverse. So let's check this. So right now at this point we are able to hear on the audio on both the channels. So as you can see this, and right now what will happen after this point is this will be on full and this will be on negative. So as I said, this is full as our right channel is on minus 287, which is the most negative value. Now after a certain point I want till here, and from this point I wanted everything to be on both channels. So let's listen to this. Left, both, right, right again, right, this on right channel, both, and and right now it's playing on both the channels, as both of our channels are on left and right with value of 0 and 0, which means our audio will play on both the channels, left as well as right. So this effect is basically called panning of channels, where we can pan our left and right channels or both according to our requirement. So for example, I would like to show you, so this, just only for this point, I want this effect. Right now it's playing on both, but I want the channel animation from left to right. So what I do here is I click on both. Till here it would play on both the channels, and at this point I want it from my left channel. So what I do is, in order to get only on the left channel, I make this to minus 150, and here I make this to 0, and I make this to minus 150. So if you notice here, right now only right channel, which is minus, and only left is visible. I would increase this more. I want that surround effect from left channel to right, so that's why I need to tweak some more. So right now, if you can see, maybe I'll decrease this more, and over here I'll again decrease this more. Yeah, now it's creating the desired output which I wanted. So it is basically starting from this left channel and it is going up to the right channel. So this was one way of animating the channels from left to right and pan it. So let's come to the other way, which is the next attribute, panner. So right now the balance is 0. What if it is playing right now on both the channels? What if I want to start with, say, minus 100? So right now it's only playing on our left channel, as you can see this, and at this point it would play on both the channels, as the value will be 0. So I hope you are able to get the change. I'll play once more. Left, both, again both, and at this I would take here, both, only right. So right now it's playing only on the right channel. So it's the same way you can animate either channel volume, or you can also animate your panner. So this spanner is recently available in the latest version of CC 2015, which was not available in 2014. So this is the new attribute which has been added by Adobe in their latest version of 2015. So instead of manipulating both the channels in channel volume of left and right, you can only get it done by spanner through its balance value, which means -100 means total on left, 0 means on both the channels, left as well as right, and 100 means left is 0 and right is full. So right now it's on 100, and as I said, this is only the right channel which is playing. So these were the ways in which you can animate your volume, pan your channels right or left through channel volume and panner. Now we'll be working with the audio effects. So I've got this track, and I would like to make a selection from this point, so I would press I here. Yeah, till here, and I press O here, and I drag audio only, select this and drag it here. So this has been placed into our timeline, and now let's go to the audio effects. So this is my audio effects. So the first one is analog delay. So this analog delay basically delays the music or the sound, and it delays the frequency of the sound into various different presets which are provided here. So the first one is 50 slapback. So let's play this and look how our audio looks. So yeah, it is creating a delay. What if we tweak these? The first one is dry out. The next is wet out. So it is creating an echo kind of thing, and which is delaying our entire set of audio. It is creating clipping of the sound, so we will not increase the feedback much, and I would make this to 89. So this, you can use this if you want to create any kind of distorted music here. There are different presets. I'll just go through one by one. You can select any you want. This is a robot voice preset. So yeah, this was our analog delay, which is basically used for creating a delay in our audio. The next one is balance. It is the same as spanner, balance here. So right now, if you notice here, it is now only playing in our left channel, now on the right. So it's the same as the balance which was here in banner. This is band pass. It creates the low frequency sound, and by tweaking this Q value it holds down the low frequencies in our audio. If I increase this Q, I hope you are able to get the difference. And the next one here is bass, which boosts the bass, or you can even decrease the bass. So right now our bass has been boosted. What if I increase this, decrease this? It is decreasing the overall bass in our audio track. This is the channel volume, same as this. And the next one is chorus flanger. If you click on edit here, then the dialog box pops up, and it creates a flanger kind of distortion in our audio. Metallic vibrato preset. So this is basically useful when you want to create any distorted kind of effect, or in your audio transition, a robotic kind of effect. The next was a chorus. It is creating multiple echoes. So these are basically useful when you want to create any kind of distorted effect. The next one is flanger. What if I bypass this? Now the original track has been playing. If I remove this bypass, it will take with the effect. The next is guitar suit. There are different kind of presets. So you can also edit your audio here, and you can select your C tool for trimming your audio, and you can get this to this track also. And suppose if you want to have a fade in, then you can also use this audio transitions and crossfade, constant gain. I prefer this. Now what we'll do is, after this we would take another audio, which is or maybe this. till here, and I would join both of them. Drag audio only. So right now, if you notice here, it is creating a jerk. Now I would apply this crossfade here. So it is, or let me extend this till here, and it will create a dissolve between both of the audio tracks as they are different. So that jerk is no more, which was visible here. Suddenly this track starts, so we would, in order to remove or eradicate that jerk, we would insert this constant gain. It is playing very smooth. Now coming to the next is low pass. So what is low pass here is, it again holds down the frequency, the low sound frequency of the track, and it cuts off that. Maybe we can apply on this as well. We can also animate this. So this was low pass. The next is mastering. So in this you can master your audio like this. You need to set a wave or a kind of graph here. I've increased the amount of reverb. This is the overall output, the gain. So in this way you can master your track. And this is the next effect, which is mute. Which mutes the channel, and right now it's on 1.0. So if you make it to 0.5, only the right channel is working in 0.5, and on 1 it's totally mute. I would make this to 0, and now right now both are mute. I do not want mute, so I'll remove that. These are the different kind of again effects which can be created for that funky kind of music. This is pitch shifter, so if you want to shift the pitch, so this is helpful when you want to convert any female voice to a male voice, so you can get that pitch into negative side and vice versa. And even if you want a male voice to get into female voice, then you can play with this and you can increase the pitch. So this pitch shifter is helpful then. And the next is volume. This is again the same as volume here. And one more effect is treble. So if you want to increase or decrease your treble, you can tweak it through the boost option here available. Right now the boost has been decreased to -24. So these were our audio effects which are through which we can create the distorted sounds. We can adjust our boost, we can adjust our bass, we can adjust our treble. Now coming to the next important portion in our audio effects is noise reduction, where we often find this issue while we have recorded any video. There are hiss kind of sound in the audio which we want to get rid of, so that it doesn't look jerky or it doesn't look good in our movie, and it's created disturbance into our viewers. So let us see that how to get rid of that sound, that background sound in our video through audio effects. So now we would work on audio effects with noise reduction. So this is the chunk which I want to work on.
You're gonna hold all there.
So this is basically a commentary of a sport,
Or just part of it.
where there is background music. So we will try to get rid of the background music as much as possible through our filters.
Guys, he can't even touch me. He's stumbling over his own feet.
You've got a new left tackle in there, and he's got his hands full with J.J. Watt. 3 new starters along that offensive line.
Yeah, so I want this much, so I would drag audio only and I would listen here.
You're gonna hold all there. Just
So for me right now this track is a low volume, so what I do here is, instead of increasing the volume from here, I increase the volume gain of the entire audio track. So right click here and select audio gain, click here, and I would make this to +5. So the moment you hit 5 here, it says set gain to 5 dB. So right now if you see, these peaks will go up as we have increased the dB or the overall volume gain. Hit OK. So yeah, these peaks have gone up.
you're gonna hold all there, or just part of it. This guy is he can't even touch me. He's stumbling over his own.
And the effects which we would use here is, into audio effects, for the first would be denoiser. and click here, edit, play the track. Reduction would be
You're gonna hold all there, just part
0 and offset would be 10.
This guy he can't even touch me. He's stumbling over his own feet.
Still we are able to get that. Now the next we would do here is de-hummer. The next effect for getting rid of the volume or the background noise.
You're gonna hold all there, just part of it. This guy he can't even touch me. He's stumbling over his own feet.
You've got a new left tackle up there, and he's got his hands full with J.J. Watt. 3 new starters along that offensive line.
This is a common problem which all editors face. We need to get rid of the background noise.
You're gonna hold all there.
So we need to tweak it through different filters available in Premiere itself.
There, just part of it. This guy he can't even touch me. He's stumbling over his own feet.
You've got a
Oh, it's taking animation which we do not want, so I would delete all the keyframes here. Or it's set to reset, or maybe just we will come here and
You're gonna hold all there, just
go to the first frame. We'll drag this little down.
You're gonna hold all there, just part of it. This guy he can't even touch me. He's stumbling over.
Maybe I would take this to 2
You're gonna hold all there, just
or maybe 5.
part of it. This guy
Yeah.
he can't even touch me.
This sounds nice. Now let's see what if we bypass both the filters which we have added and how does it sounds.
You're gonna hold all there, just part of it. This guy he can't even touch me.
Now let's hear it with our effect.
You're gonna hold all there, just part of it. This guy he can't even touch me.
There is definitely a major sound difference as noise is not visible to a maximum extent.
He's stumbling over his own feet.
And to get more this thing clear, we can also add treble, and let's see what we can do. The magic here.
You're gonna hold all there, just part of it. This guy he can't even
We can
touch me.
decrease down the
He's
treble,
stumbling over his own feet.
and we can increase its gain maybe more by 3, so it comes to 8 as we had increased on 5.
You're gonna hold all there, just part of it. This guy he
I don't want this treble here. Yeah,
You're gonna hold all there, just part of it. You're gonna hold all there, just part of it.
I want it on minus side.
You're gonna hold all there, just part of it. This guy he can't even touch me. He's stumbling over his own feet.
You've got a new left tackle up there, and he's got his hands full with J.J. Watt. 3 new starters along that offensive line.
So this was the way in which we can
Hold all there.
decrease and get rid of our background noise while we had shooted any kind of interview shoot or any kind of film. And if you want to persist the audio, and if you want to keep the audio, and if you want to get rid of the background noise, we can do that through these filters provided in Premiere inside Audio Effects. So yeah, this was very helpful, and this is the major issue which we face while editing our movies, and these tools are really very nice and very helpful of getting rid of those background hiss or noise. Now we would be learning towards the animating the sound levels of in two audio tracks through a different way, which Premiere provides us. So let us first select the sound which we want. I want it from here. I'm pressing I. Till here. I would say drag audio only, and on my track 2 I would have another sound. Maybe from here. Till here. And I would drag this here again. And now what I want here is I would animate this. And I would go to a new tab known as Audio Track Mixer. So right now, as you can see, there are 1, 2, 3, and what if I place this here? So this audio A1, this is my audio track. A2 again is my audio track here. So now both are filled. What if I move this? Only audio 1 is there. I play it from here. Now both are playing. So what I want is, I want this to be animated. I will do it from here. So go here, it says automation mode, it means animation, and from read make it to write. And initially I want the volume to be on a lower scale, and play this. And now I would increase this. So this animation is taken. Yeah, if you can see this is going up. Yeah, it's going automatically up. My cursor is here. I'm not doing anything. Again, it has come down. And make this again to read, and I want my animation again. So now see this. So the animation is taken. There is one simpler way again. So you can come back here, audio clip mixer, which says Arriva Mami. That is the name of track. And what you can do is, I'll just delete this, or maybe double click it, and I would again take this here. So if you see this was our track mixer, and this was our clip mixer. So basically the difference between both is clip mixer is only for the clip and track mixer is for both, which would show both. I'll just quickly take this. So if you see this is working on our track. So any track you insert, it will automatically take its input here at this time. What if we insert this here? Just a minute. Let's see. So irrespective of any track you insert here, at the time when you had make this from read to touch, and it would automatically create that animation of the level irrespective of any track you insert on your target 1, that is A1, on your audio target 1, layer 1. Now I make it to off, and it means now there is no animation. Let us make a fresh animation, and I would say it to read. Maybe write. So it would overwrite here. Now let's check. Check this, it's animating on its own. Now what we do is, as this is now on a down level, we would slightly increase this, and right now it's starting on a very high volume. So what I would do is I would again make this to right, and I would decrease its volume down. Gradually I would like to increase it. So if you see this, it's increasing gradually. I will again say right here. So you have to make sure while you are animating, this should be in touch or right. So you can see here this is animating by its own as we are going to touch. If you can see this, I've kept on a low volume. So in this way you can automate or animate your audio track mixer through this audio track mixer panel, which can be there in Windows, audio clip mixer, audio track meter. So this was our clip mixer and this is our track mixer. Clip mixer is only for the track here, and it creates the volume, but it creates or increases or decreases the volume of the clip and not the track. So you have to make sure what you want. Either it's audio clip mixer or audio track mixer. Audio track mixer means audio track mixer would automatically animate that audio on any kind of clip you insert here, and it would animate the level of the track and not the clip. So if you're done with your audio track mixer, and if you've done animating it, irrespective of what kind of audio you insert there, it's there at your that particular timing, it would animate the level of audio accordingly. But on audio clip mixer, if we animate this, see this, we'll see get the dots, the levels. So I would click here, right keyframes. If I animate this, if I decrease this, again if I animate this, now if you see here and if you go to your FX control, you will see the keyframes have been added as we had played or animated the keyframes of the clip mixer and not the track mixer. So please do not get confused between both of them. As clip mixer, if you animate the levels of the clip mixer, it would only animate the level of the clip and not the track. And if you animate the levels or of the track mixer, it would animate the track, the targeted track there, that is A1 and not the clip. So if you see here, these levels are getting animated according to the animation which we had done in our audio clip mixer. So yeah, this was our animation of sound levels through audio track mixer and audio clip mixer. So as we have worked with audio and the different segments in audio editing, let's go through each of them in a nutshell. So the first was audio editing, where we saw the basics of audio. What is audio editing? Why do we need to edit audios? The next was FX control of audio, which was volume, channel, and balance. And the next was audio effects, through which we could create distorted sound or a robotic sound or a metallic sound, and through which we can enhance or decrease the boost, treble, the bass, everything. And the next was noise cleanup, where we can clean up the noise or we can get rid of the noise if it's there in our video, and which is also a common issue while shooting your video, especially when you're not shooting in-house and it's an outdoor location. So you need to clean that noise through the different kind of filters like denoiser, dehammer, and treble, which helps us cleaning the noise in background and enhances the sound of the speaker through volume gain by right clicking on the clip and selecting volume gain and enhancing the sound and increasing the volume from there. And the last one which we saw was automating sound, through which you can animate the levels through your track mixer and clip mixer by turning the mode of the track to your touch or right. So in that way you can animate your levels of the track or your clip. So today we will be working with text in Adobe Premiere Pro, where we would see different kind of text which can be created in different font, in different look and feel, in different appearance, with different font sizes, with different font attributes like leading, spacing, kerning, font size, font color, border, shadow, and through which we will be going through all the attributes for text, and we will be also looking towards the animation of text in Adobe Premiere itself. So let's start with the first menu, which in Premiere, which is the title menu, and I've just created this title, and now I would show you how I've done this. So I'll just delete this. I would delete all titles from here, and this is my plain sequence. As you can see here, it's sequence 1, and the properties for this is 720p with 25 fps. So nothing extraordinary you need to do for this creating titles. So what I want to do is I want to create a title. The first way which you can create a title is go to File, New, and Title, and click here. So it says New Title, and you can name anything in this title. Suppose I want to name this as Intro Title, and this remains the same 1280 720. It's according to our sequence settings, so make sure you do not change this, as the font or the size which may appear in your title dialog box may not appear the same while edit in your program monitor. So I suggest you to keep the same width and height and the rest of the video settings. So click on OK, and as you can see, this is our title box. This is the entire thing is our title menu, and these are the different options available here. So we'll go through them one by one. So first, create a text. So let's come here, and this is the type tool. We will select here. So if you can see, it has been highlighted and it's in blue, and you can come over here where you can type your text. This is the text area where you need to type, and I would like to type maybe working with text. And once you're done, you do not press enter, as enter would take you to the next line, as I just did this. So what you can do is, when you're done, you done with your writing portion, then you can go here and click this move tool or the selection tool. So now your text is in a position where you can move it. So I would like to make this in center, and this is the vertical center, and this is the horizontal center. So which means this text is currently right now totally horizontal as well as vertical aligned center to our frame size, which is 1280 720. Now what I want is, I want a line kind of thing to be created. I would take this rounded corner rectangle tool, and I would draw this line, and I want the line color to be changed. So what I do is I click here, and the other different title properties where it says transform, which means opacity, exposure, Y position, width and height. So you can also control the opacity from here. So right now, if you can see, the opacity is 9%. If I make this to 50, this is the opacity right now. If I want to change its X position, Y position, everything can be changed from here also, instead of dragging your mouse and changing its position. This is the height, and this is the width. So I do not want any changes in my height and width. I would like to make as this itself, or maybe I would take this rectangle, and I want to create a line kind of thing. So yeah, the rest of the things remains the same, and this is graphic type. Oh, and before graphic type, this is the rotation. You can rotate from here, or you can rotate from here as well. This is the rotate tool, through which you can rotate your text or any shapes which you have created. So right now we are working with text, and this is the shape which we have created. I would like to slightly decrease its width. Yeah, this sounds nice. This looks good. And I would click here when I'm done. So it says close. So right now, as you can see in our project menu, intro title is there. So what you need to do is you need to drag and drop into your sequence. So it will be available there. And now you can see this is working with text. The title which we had created is now present in our program monitor. There are a couple of many other options which we'll go through one by one. So this was just the basic where you can insert your text and place into your program monitor. And as I said, this is our title area or the title menu, which gives you lots of options, lots of styles. Now let's create another text. I would delete this and let this remain in my project. You can also right click here, add new item, and then select title, or you can also press Ctrl T. T stands for Thailand, and I would name this as maybe utility. And let's create a text. As I demonstrated earlier also, you need to press this type tool, or maybe we can take this vertical type tool. What we'll do is let's check this, or maybe let's take this now. I would like to decrease down the font size, and I would now take this. So press here and go on typing. I would like to give a different feel to it, so I would make this as bold, which I did from here. And these are the different kind of fonts available in your system. So currently it is on Adobe Arabic, so you can make any you want. You can also press down arrow or up arrow from your keyboard in order to change, and the same will be reflected and it will show you the live change on your title menu. I would like to stick to this, and I would also slightly decrease its font size, and I would also change its color from fill. Go to here and then select any color you want. So now I would like to share this the fact why we need to create title, or what is the use of creating title. So basically we create title in order to give knowledge or any kind of information to our audience who are viewing our video, and it can be any kind of information which you want to pass on and which can be sufficient enough for the audience to know what you want to tell through your video. For example, there is a sunset kind of or a sunrise kind of video which you have shot or you have used, and then you are showing, and the next shot is a cut shot, and you are showing maybe a place where there are hills or something, and suppose the place is anything, so suppose the place name is XYZ, and if you want to show your audience, and or if you want to show your viewers that this is the place, so they wouldn't know, each and everyone wouldn't know that acha, this is the place which you had shooted. So what you can do is on the video you can insert a title there, and you can mention the name as the place XYZ, and even if you want to mention the time, then you can also mention, say suppose 8 a.m. XYZ comma 8 a.m. So this is a visualization which you have to present it to your audience which you know, but the main thing is your viewers which are seeing your video should know that. So it plays a very important role. The title, the text which you insert plays a very important role, and you need to make sure that the text or the content which you have inserted is totally correct and there are no spelling errors or any kind of other errors such as punctuation marks, full stop, comma, etc. So I hope by now this is clear why we need to insert titles. So one by one we'll come to each and every step of titles, as it is a very vast area. So right now this is the title which we have created. This is through this normal type tool which goes vertical, and vertical this is the horizontal type tool, and this is the vertical type tool. You can place it anywhere you want. And let's close this and insert this into our timeline and see how does it looks. I would like to add transition to it, so I would go to video transitions, or maybe dissolve, cross dissolve. So this is the title which we have created. Now let's come to another area which is again a very important area. So as you can see in our title area, there are two boxes here. So what are they? So I would like to tell you that this this box, I'll create a shape here, and I would like to tell you that I would change its color and make this to maybe orange, and I would right click here and I would say here arrange and send to back. So basically I'm doing this because I want my text which I had created there to be visible. So if you click this, your text comes to the front and this object goes to the back. So this is basically my title safe area, this entire box. So basically it means this, your title which you are entering, irrespective of the font size, your font alignment or everything, it should not be this. As you can see here, it is going beyond this line, it is crossing this line. So this is, I've duplicated this by pressing Ctrl C and V, which means copy and paste. So right now the text which I've entered is totally wrong, and I want to show you this because this is a very important area where maximum people create this error. So I've done this in order to show you the area where maximum people create this error, and this is totally incorrect as our title area is exceeding, as our title is exceeding through our title area, and this portion, if you can see this, I'm hovering my cursor here, this is totally wrong. It shouldn't be like this, irrespective of any font size you use or any alignment. So this is not at all acceptable, and this is the area where maximum people make mistake. So I would like to scale this down and fit to my title safe area. I would reduce this down a bit again and I would delete this. So right now if you can see, the title which has been created is totally correct, and this is acceptable. As you can see here, it is not cut to cut, or it is not touching the edges of our title safe area, and this is the text which you can maintain, the kind of spacing which I have given to my text, you can maintain this. Now suppose this right mark which I have created through boxes, I want this to be in back. So right click, select both, right click here, go to arrange and say it's into back. So if you can see here, if I change the color of this, make this to pink, so this has gone back. So in this way you can transform your objects and you can create your objects. And this is the action safe area. So the main action should be in this area itself. I have demonstrated this earlier, and right now I want you to make sure that your title safe area is having much space from the text which you have created. Now coming to the menus one by one, these are the different kind of fonts. As I said, we can hover through it. We can go through one by one by pressing down the down arrow or up arrow key from your keyboard. Suppose this is the font. This was the font family. So right now my font family is maybe not Kodia new, maybe Myrad Arabic, and I would like to change this from regular to bold. So it is pretty bold here, and I would change its color from here and from fill. I'd like to make this as blue, a pretty bright color, and this is for bold. You can do it from here also instead of doing regular. This is my regular. If I click here, it's highlighted, which means it is bold. If I click italic, it is italic bold. If I click here, it is underlined. I don't want italic. This is the size from where you can reduce or decrease the size of your text. Here comes the kerning, and this is the leading. So before going showing you this practical demonstration, I would like to know you what is leading, kerning, and tracking. So right now the things which we are learning is related to our text, and it is also known as typography. It is a technical term which consists of letters called fonts, and we have already seen the font families which we have seen. And basically this is kerning and this is our leading. So now let us see practically the difference between both of them. So coming to leading, so this leading determines the amount of space between lines in a paragraph. So this space, right now I'm hovering my mouse, this space, the amount of the space between the lines in a paragraph is known as leading. So this is a paragraph here, and I would double click on my title as I've created. This is leading one title, this is the subtopic. Leading determines the amount of space between lines in a paragraph, and I select this and I go here. This is leading, this A icon. Right now it's on -12. If I increase this, so as you can see here, it is increasing the amount of space between lines in a paragraph. So as this is my paragraph, which is centrally aligned, I am increasing the amount of leading. So I hope this is clear, the fundamental of leading. It is also important if you have suppose dummy text here. I'm just typing here text. Just go on copy pasting it in order to explain you the process of leading. So right now this is a paragraph, and if I increase the amount of leading, it would look something like this. Right now it is on 12. If I increase this to maybe 6, it looks like this. In the same way, you can decrease it according to your need. We generally don't do this as this is not ideally suited or ideally suggested. So we can make it here. We need to give some breathing space to our content, to our text. Say for example, many a times we see at the time of or the beginning of movie there is a disclaimer. So in the same way, we can design this, and we can have the text here. I would edit the text here, and I've got a text here. Change its color to maybe red, or maybe white itself, but there should be a difference between them. These both shouldn't look similar, and right now, as you can see, this is exceeding my title safe area, so I would like to scale down a bit. And it says all characters appearing in this work are fictitious. Any resemblance to real persons living or dead is purely coincidental. So I would click here, and I can adjust my kerning any way I want. Generally, it is like something like this on 5 or something, or maybe 2.5. So let's see how does it looks. So this is, yeah, giving us almost a film look, and in this way you can adjust your leading in your content, title content in your paragraph. So this is the technique where you can create your text and adjust your leading. Now let's come to tracking. Now after leading, let's come to kerning. So kerning is the process of adjusting the spacing between characters in a proportional font, usually to achieve a visually pleasing result. Now let us see demonstratively, practically, and we would click here, and this says kerning, this VA icon, and it it will adjust the spacing between the characters, between these in a proportional font, and it will usually create a pleasing result. So let us increase this. So if you decrease this, you get this. Right now it's -1. If you increase this, it basically adjusts the spacing in between the characters which are present in our content and the text which we have inserted. Let us take, or maybe we can take this title, and we can increase the kerning. So it basically increases the spacing between our characters. Right now it's on 100, which is maximum. It cannot go beyond this, and the minimum will be -100, which goes totally reverse. And right now it's -5. It doesn't looks good as there is no breathing space, so we would give a breathing space so that look pretty decent. And as it is a main heading, we can have the kerning value to 11, and this is looking pretty cool. And this was the kerning process. And now coming to the next process of for our paragraph, this is center alignment. The shortcut for this is Control Shift and C. This is left, so it aligns our entire content here to the left, and I would like to decrease the leading, and this is again a right alignment, which is totally on right. I would like to make it to center. I ideally prefer this. So this was our alignment along with leading, and the next option here is show background video. So if you click here, right now our video is blank, so it would show you on a background video. And note this entire thing, you can have it on a video itself. Let us insert a video. I would like to insert this video, and I would say import, and I would drag the entire titles to my second layer and I would place this here. So if you can see here, this the beneath layer is our video and our text is above that video. So you can have this anywhere you want, and you can also place a video here. So right now if I go here and I show this show background video, it won't show any background video now as this is checked off. So you need to check in order to composite your text along with the background video. So right now over here, as we have inserted a background video, it is showing the background video. What if we remove this from here? If we remove this woman video clip from here, it would not show this woman video clip from here too, and it will automatically update this title area bar, and it will show the plain black blank video which is present. If I do Control Z, which means undo, so again that video would come and it would go on our background layer, and on our foreground layer or the foreground track we have our text. Now let us see the different font styles which are available in Adobe Premiere and they are provided by them. Right click in your project, new item, go to title, say font styles, hit enter, and click here and say font style. I would like to create one more title here and I would say different font styles which are available in Adobe Premiere Pro. Full stop. Select your move tool, resize your text, make it center aligned as I prefer it, and if you can see here, these are the different title styles. So just drag your window from here, and right now we are not focusing on these attributes, so we would go through them one by one. So what you need to do is you select this font style and you just go on clicking. So while you click, it gives you the preview, the live preview, and it changes your font accordingly, and it changes the look and feel of the font. Suppose if you want to have it on a background, we will have that. So let's insert a background so that we get a very clear picture. So I've inserted this video and it's a video background which is loopable, and let us insert our text here and see the different kind of font styles. So what I do is I drag and drop my video footage here and I say it to scale to frame size, and I want this to insert here. So I go to font styles which I had created earlier. So right now it is showing me. So as my background is lighter in color, I would prefer a darker font color. So you can just go and click here and you can choose any you want. Yeah, the different kind of fonts and the font styles along with different attributes such as drop shadow, outer glow available. I like to make this to this, and I would like to make this as bold. I'd like to increase the kerning of this, and it says different font styles which are available in Adobe Premiere Pro. Or we can make this to title style. So these are the different title styles which were which are available in Premiere. You can select your title, the text which you have created, and you can just go on checking one by them, whichever suits and whichever you want, you can apply them. This also looks fine, but I want a shadow kind of thing on my content, so I would like to stick to this, and I would just change the. So if suppose if I'm liking the overall appearance of this, but I want to change its font, so you can do that also. You can create any font, or else you can change to any font, and what it does is it will the drop shadow and the effects would remain the same which it has. It would just change the font style or the font family. I like to make this as bold. So yeah, this were the different title styles which were available in Premiere. Now after going through the title styles provided in Premiere, now let us go through the different kind of options and the tools which are provided here in our tool area. So we'll go through them one by one. I would like to delete this, and as we have seen this type tool and the vertical type tool, the next is area type tool. So select this, and what it does is within this area which I have drawn here, it allows you to write text here in. So right now I'm not able to write more, though I'm typing from my keyboard, but as my area is small, it is not allowing me to write the text. So what you can do here is you can increase the area box, and you can type in here scale up area. Again, I'm not able to type, so what I do here is I select this move tool, and so now the text has been revealed here. So in order to make it, you have to make the area box larger. So select this tool and draw your area box. So this font which you are the text which you are entering won't go above or beyond the text box. So this was area type tool. This is vertical area type tool, which will go vertical. So it is going in this form. So it depends on your requirement. The next is path type tool. Select this, and it gives a pen tool icon which allows you to draw a path. So draw a path here, and when you're done, go to selection tool and press this tool. And right now double click here, and if you see your cursor is blinking, Premiere Pro text path tool. And once you're done, again click here selection tool, so tool that path will not be visible here, and but the shape your text will form will be according to your path which you have drawn. So you can also alter this, and your text will also be manipulated in the way you manipulate your tangents or the handles. So I hope you are able to get the difference. So this was our path type tool. This is the vertical path type tool. Let us draw a path here, and I would press enter, and I would go to select tool and double click here. Now it would allow me to type on the path, type on path vertically. So right now if you can see, I'm not able to write the entire thing vertically as my path is small. So what I do is double click again here, and I extend the path. What we can do here is we can decrease the font size so that our text fits in. So it says type on path that is vertical. So the next tool is pen tool, which allows you to draw your path or the any curve if you want to have it in your text. So it will just act like a path. Suppose if I want this, if I want a design or something, and you can also add fill here. You can first adjust it. I would like to adjust this to make it more smooth. And what I would do here is I would disable the shadows as I do not want shadows, and you need to tweak this a bit. So my stroke which I had created is white in color, and you can increase this to property by line width. And for getting this effect, you need to increase the line width. You can also have a gradient finish. So my fill type is linear gradient right now, and from white I would like to turn it to maybe pinkish, or maybe yellowish, as my would match from the background. So a combination of maybe, for right now I would like to delete my or make my background as black. So this can act as a lower third also, where you can insert your text. So right here, suppose enter name. You often see this in many videos or many videos where this act as a lower third, and make sure your name, the title which you are entering, is not overlapping with your title safe area. So in this way you can have your title. So let's drag and drop here fonts